we are taking off. So we got only 20 minutes, so not a lot of time. We should be, quick. Okay, so the first question that I got is, why do we visualize data? Can you answer that question for me? Why?
It's far more efficient.
It's efficient. Why?
Because we use we use all the parts of the brain to process the information.
Okay, so you use all the parts of the brain to process it. Very good. Any other reasons?
Easier to read the data in that form.
It's easier to read the data in that form. Good. But the primary reason is to save our time. And how efficient is your report? It also depends how quick an end user can read it and digest the information that you present. And this is the biggest benefit that you bring with visualizations. And to do that, you need to apply, few principles that work with visualizations to speed that process up. And on today's sessions, I'm going to go through just few of them, because it's like only 20 minutes. But with the use of Power BI, you will see how to apply in a few cases. So it's going to be mainly live demo. My name is Hubert Kobyszewski, and I come from Poland. I work in Warsaw in a company called Cogate. I have a small team of data analysis developers. I also teach data visualization on 2 universities, and I'm one of the leaders of a data community in Poland. You can also find me somewhere on internet under Data Hubert acronym. So I got a test for you. How many objects did you see? How many objects?
Including background?
No, 3 people, yeah, that's okay. Second test. How many of them? Okay, I was presenting them at the same amount of time. It was just 1 second. And this is another example. How many? 15. Some of you were right. Okay, they were more, but they were aligned, yeah? So it's like you can see that we've got something like a cognitive load when we see visuals, yeah? On the first example, it was easy to count. We just processed. We can process only few items at a time in our short-term memory. If there are more, like 9, we've got 19 and 20, so it was more difficult. And so this is one of the reasons why we should keep our reports with as small number of elements as possible. And I'm going to show it to you on using Power BI. Okay, let me switch to the tool, and I'll start with the table. What you can see, it's kind of a wide table. These will be usually normal, like default settings from Power BI. And to make it easier to read, we need to condense it a little bit. First of all, we know that the consumers of this report is going to be marketing department. They need to know how customers convert into revenue. So it's like we see that like 17% of those customers with this education level, they translate into 20% of that one. So let me try to do it as quickly as possible. So first of all, I had to do a few things related with data, but other type of visual will be much, much better to do that, so I use matrix. In row headers, I just need to increase that font a little bit, so it's easier to read for you. And it will be much, much better if I change that layout of data a little bit, because I was using calculation groups, parameters, and so on and so on. Anyway, you're going to get it, these examples somewhere published after SQL bits it's done. And now we've got a little bit, condensed information. I've cutted the numbers, the precision is gone. We don't need it for just analysis. We are not accountants, we are analysts. And what you could do here, it's like, this was the first step. The other steps could be, for instance, introduce some lighter separation in here, in column headers and the row headers. Sorry, first thing is that I don't like this style preset, so I really need to change it into simple one. And then we can do it with this background color and so on and so on. So in this style, this is, you see, a more condensed information, and it's easier to read. Still hard, but it's easier. Much, much easier it would be if I do it with a graph. Because it's a situation of conversion of some information to another information, like percentage of customers to percentage of revenue. I'll do it with a slope chart, but slope chart is not available in Power BI, so we are going to mimic it a little bit. So I'll do it like that. I'll leave just percentages because this is something that I'm interested in. I will move education levels to legend. Now I have like a colorful line chart, but I'm not interested in separating them. I am interested in numbers, how those numbers convert. So the legend is something that causes me to have a more eye travel, so I'm going to get rid of it. But you can see that you can use serious labels in here. What else? Since I have labels in here, I don't need y-axis. So y-axis can be removed from here. X-axis needs a little bit of adjustment. Definitely I don't need a title of it. It will be good also to have markers and to change the colors of those lines, to have all black, because I treat them equally at the moment. I don't want to, focus on any one of them, and that's it. This is much, much better example. Of course, title could be changed. If you want, I have something prepared as a title. We can convert it. Not convert it, but overwrite it. Yep. That should be it. Come on. So, of course, it's not end of the story, because it would be better if I make those markers, data labels bolder, these serious names also bolder, so they are displayed in a little bit better way, so you can notice it quickly. But this is a good way towards getting that information, more available for end users. So they easily can see that, for instance, high school education level, they are not converting well, but bachelors, they are doing good. Yeah. So this is easy to see that, and you do it much, much quicker than when we compare it to against the table. Alrighty, another example. I'm going to look at the line chart. First, let's start from the requirements. The consumer of that report is going to be sales manager, and that person is interested in a 12 months revenue trend. So how can we help this person to read this one much quicker? But for starters, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. You see the trend. I can switch to other month, and then I see this month, and then 12 months back. But there are few things that can be done with a bit better with this report. So let's start with changing. Let's start with changing x-axis. I turn off concatenate labels. Then I see that, unfortunately, months are kind of along here. Sorry, that should be an arrow here. So I'm going to switch them into shorter names, like these ones. So it's much quicker to read the just 3-letter abbreviations of them. I'm going to introduce a second line, which is going to give me just points. You see, these are just beginning and end point, and I will treat those points as markers, my markers. But because I'd like to have them in the same color, so they mimic the same line, okay, they form a single line now. Now I need data labels, but those data labels, they have to be applied only on this level of points. And then once I have them, it will be good if I keep the same color as the line, so they look a bit better. Then I don't need anything like a legend. That's it. Y-axis is also disposable in this case. And look at this one. It's much cleaner, apart of course from the title. This one is much cleaner to see. You've got less elements. You've seen the exercise in the beginning of our session. Less elements means quicker digestion in here. Another nice example, which I see very often, is a combo chart. That combo chart, I'm not going to show you what I did with that, but I will explain you what helped me to convert that one into a better version. So using these combo charts are, something that you see very often, because people want to condense information on in one place. But what is the problem with them? First time when we see them, we don't actually know what is the line, what are bar charts, what is the part as a bar chart. So, and what we do, we see the line, we then go to legend, and we are trying to find a y-axis which can give me an information about, okay, what numbers are under these points. So there's a lot of eye travel in here. And if you read books about data visualizations, what they advise you to do not use these types of reports, because they create a lot of confusion. Better to separate them in some way. So what you can do in Power BI, you can do it a little bit better, but it's not so perfect. What I've managed to do is I've managed to change it into this. So, and what did I do to come into this form of the same chart? This is the same chart. So first of all, I got data labels in here, but it's not only this. I had to change the minimum and maximum points for this series of data. if I go to lines in here, sorry, to y-axis, I have changed the maximum for column chart to calculate it like to have 1.5. I just multiply by 1.5 the maximum. Why? To leave a space here on this one for the line chart. With this, with the line chart, I did the other thing because you've got here a secondary axis. I just hard-coded -2000 in here, and this lifted that line chart to the top to the upper part of this chart. Then the other thing is that like for the past few months, we can enjoy something like more detailed data labels, which you can use. It's not only the value in here, but you can use also detail. And with the detail, I've managed to write a measure which appears only at the last data point in here, and it just gives me the label for this part. So this is and the reason for that is to do not have any legend in here, because once the label is with very close to the series of data, then it's much easier to read it. Power BI is not perfect when you use standard palette of visualizations in these modifications, but you can achieve good results with them. Much better output in terms of visualizations you can achieve using, for instance, Deneb. If you look for Kerry Kolosko works, for instance, she made a nice line chart with labels that are attached to lines, and so there's also no need for legend. There is no eye travel, but some organizations will not allow to use it. Yeah, so that could be a problem. And when you think about converting this one to this one, think about reducing of travel across that chart for your end user, because they will just look at that and then know instantly what is happening. Another example could be a line chart. If in many cases, it's like you've seen the example before when I constructed the slope chart. The slope chart, when it was converted to a line chart, I introduced legend, and then you've seen like 5 colorful lines. And this is usually distracting because they are competing. Like you don't know where to focus. And it's, for instance, if you have the requirement, I want to focus on a given category and to compare it against the rest, then what you do is change the colors of those lines. Just use different color for the line that you want to be seen as the first one, and then everything else change it to gray. Gray is your friend for comparisons in here. And of course, like each one of those reports, they work dynamically. It's much easier also to make those modifications when you have static reports, because you can you see the data, you know what to convey, what kind of message you want to convey with your chart. And it's because, for instance, here you cannot dynamically change the color in this type of chart. It would be very difficult for me to say, okay, in this situation I want to to use a different color for bachelors. And then in a different situation, for instance in here, I would like to use a different color for graduate degree. That's not yet possible with Power BI, but month by month we see that more and more formatting features are dynamic. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, you know, to have also a dynamic color in these types of instances.
Can you make a slicer? Which one would be the one that is blue?
I would love to have it. I would love to have it, but it's not possible. So, 20 minutes pass. Thank you very much. Any questions, then, you know, approach me. I'm around today.